Welcome. Let's discuss how we can evaluate function compositions. Let's consider two functions. The function of f of x being equivalent to x squared, and the function of g of x equivalent to x plus 3. And now we want to consider the composition of g of x inside of f of x, and we want to evaluate it at the value of x equals 2. Let's start by making sense of the composition. Here we are saying that we're going to get the function of g of x, and we're going to substitute it inside the function of f of x. And if we want to get this composition, and we want to evaluate it at the value of x equals 2, then we can use the notation of f parenthesis g of 2. Because in our notation, notice that x is inside of g, and if we want to substitute it with the value of 2, then within that same notation, we just replace it with the 2. And if we follow this notation, it will tell us exactly what to do. The first thing that we're going to do, we're going to take a look at the function of g, and we're going to evaluate it at the value of 2. And then second, we're going to get our result, and we're going to plug it in inside the function of f of x. So let's do that. Let's start by finding g of 2. Let's go to the function of g, and let's substitute it with the value of 2. So now we're going to get 2 plus 3, which is equivalent to 5. And then we're going to get the value of 5, and we're going to substitute it into f. So we are going to try to find f of 5. So now let's go to the function of f, and let's substitute it with the value of 5, which is equivalent to 25. So now we can say that the composition of g into x when x is equivalent to 2, that has a value of 25. If we want to visualize what just happened here, we started with the value of 2. And then we got this value, and we plug it in into the function of g of x. And when we did that, we obtained a value of 5. And then this value of 5, we plug it in into the function of f of x. And the result was 25. And what we have done here, it is a composition of g of 2 evaluated inside of f. Let's take a look at one more example. Here we have two functions, f of x equivalent to the square root of x, and g of x equivalent to x squared. And what we want to do, we want to consider the composition of f of x inside g of x, and we want to evaluate it at the x value of x equals 3. The notation that we could use is g parenthesis f of 3. So let's write down our steps. The first thing that we want to do, let's go to the function of f and substitute it with x equals 3. And second, we're going to substitute the result from that evaluation into the function of g. So let's do that. Let's go to the function of f, which we have it here, and let's substitute the value of 3. Then we're going to get the square root of 3. And let's keep it as that. Then, and second, let's get this value and substitute it inside the function of g, which is defined as x squared. Now we're going to get the square root of 3 squared. Here the square root will cancel out with the second, and we're going to obtain the value of just 3. So now we can say that the composition of f into g when x is equivalent to 3, it is equal to just 3. If we want to visualize what happened here, we started with the x value of 3. And then we substituted into the function of f, which is what was inside. When we performed the substitution, we obtained the value of square root of 3. And then we got this value, and we substituted inside the function of g. And we did that, and we obtained the result of 3. And essentially what we have done, We perform the composition of f inside of g, evaluate at 3. So we are done. Hello. If you would like to continue learning about mathematics, you can check out the videos on the left.